Ah, the BIKC, the pinnacle of British racing. So in this championship, you're going to come across two kinds of people. One kind is going to be a really rich arsehole, and the other is going to be your standard working class person. Either way, both take it way too seriously, with even the working class person lapping the track at least 200 times before racing. Onto our qualifying session now. I come into the final sector and I encounter something a little bit stupid. Yes, that's a screwdriver. What on earth is that doing on a circuit?
Yo! There's a screwdriver on the track!
Out of pure terror, I go ahead and tell the marshal alongside the track so I don't actually blow up my tyres mid-qualifying lap.
Why is there a fucking screwdriver on the track? What is it? There's a screwdriver coming through sector
And once again, like a pillock, I go ahead and tell the second marshal. Honestly, if I show you this full qualifying session, you'll get pretty bored pretty quickly, as it was just non-stop yellow flags. So this here is my fastest lap, putting me in the solid P15. Now with that god-awful lap out of the way, it's time to show you the racing. We're now going to begin Heat 1 of 2. Or are we? No, we don't actually start Heat 1. You see that Jamaican looking flag next to me there? That's actually the restart flag, and that means the whole grid is out of formation and we have to go back round for another lap under yellow flags. After finishing our god-awful slow lap, we're now going to begin racing for Heat 1. With me complaining for the 1500th time already today, we start racing. With all of us barreling into turn 2 now, there's a bunch of craziness happening on the inside line, with every single driver being bumped like mad. So far, this opening lap doesn't seem all that crazy, with just a bit of bumping and me gaining 1 or 2 positions so far. And for the 1500th time ever, I'm going to commit attempted murder. I can see the driver trying to go down my inside, so I'll take avoiding action. Skipping forward now, you're going to see me make a mistake, and the driver's going to try and stick their nose down the inside, but once again, I just cover it off enough so he doesn't go down my inside. For the first time already in this race, I'm going to go defensive through turn 1 so the driver doesn't send it down my inside. The yellow flags do come out now for something that happened a bit further up on the track, and the drivers ahead decide to ignore the yellow flags and just shoot away. And you can hear all the 12-year-olds behind me screaming at me to catch up. So I decide to, and I actually get a warning for this at the end of the race, which is absolutely crazy. But the green flags do go out now, and I begin to chase after the drivers in the exact same position I was in before. And once again, you're about to see me get a bit optimistic with my moves, and luckily this one works. Viewer discretion, what you're about to see could be classed as attempted murder. Now let's watch that back in slow-mo and let me talk you through it. Now due to me literally being double the weight of the driver behind me, he's going to get a rocket of an exit down the straight. What I did here was perfectly fine. I left him space and I defended my inside line, but he still decided to push me to the apex. And now you've just seen an illegal move from the driver down my inside, and that's caused about 4 drivers to go up my inside. Luckily, I have the inside line and I can take back a few of my positions, but in the end, I've still lost 1 position to this tiny 38 kg driver in front of me, which basically means there's no touching him, especially on speed 3. And we're now coming across the line to take home P12, and I've gained 12 positions. If I didn't have those incidents in the earlier sectors of this race, I would have came home in P11 because I would have defended the drivers behind me pretty easily. But I do turn off my camera and we move on to Heat 2. After getting a stern telling off from the BIKC marshals, we do actually start this heat, but I couldn't see the lights, so I get an awful start. But can I still continue to make positions? It seems I haven't learnt from my first heat that the outside line is better for the back of the pack, so I've taken the inside line and all the drivers have started a pile up, so now I'm stuck in dead last. After getting gapped to oblivion by the whole grid, I'm about to make a massive mistake. In all fairness, I couldn't really know that these brakes were extremely sharp on this car specifically, and the tyres were absolutely freezing, which I should have known beforehand. But now I'm about like 5 seconds behind, I'm going to try and catch the drivers in front. Now about 10 seconds into this lap, I'm about to make another mistake. Yes, I've just spun my car and I've just turned it off. Like an absolute bellend. Like an absolute idiot, I thought that the reverse button was on the right side because I thought it was like a Sodi kart.
Take your feet off. Yes, he did. Oh, master backs. Oh, sorry.
I've now apologised to the marshal because I just realised I've just turned the car off. Once again, I'm sorry Charlie mate if you're watching this. I'm just going to remind you guys that this here is a national competition and I'm about a lap behind everyone, which is absolutely great. Skipping forward to my very few highlights, I encounter Nathan Williams and some of his friends, which is literally the only support I got throughout the day. Thank you very much Nathan, I really needed that. What a heat that was, hey? I got into a half spin and spun a car, and also turned it off. I'm undeniably an absolute goat for that performance. Moving on from my most disappointing performance ever, we're on to the semi-final now, which is where my racing ends for the day, so I'm here to prove a point. That point being that I can actually race, so here I'm starting last and the lights have gone green, so I'm going to be looking for positions left and right. This heat so far not looking as bad, with a bit less bumping and a lot less chopping and changing of positions. Coming into the upstairs section, I'm looking for a bunch of positions, because I want to actually get into the top 8, which I know in my mind is pretty unrealistic, but I'm still going to aim for it. As you saw there, another optimistic move. But what's going on there? Lawrence has been pushed into a Hall Pass racing driver. That means I'm no longer last. That there is James Burgess, an absolute rocket behind the wheel. Considering that I'm no longer last, let's see how long I can hold this position for. And already Lawrence is looking for places to pass me. This is not looking good. I did slightly look for a position through turn 1, but I kind of backed out of it because I just didn't want any penalties. I've been given an almighty push through the up ramp, so that's how I know I'm a bit slow. Now just sit back and watch how much this driver will pull away throughout the straight. That is just not fun to race against. I'm deciding to start carrying a bit more entry speed because that is a way I'm going to cover off Lawrence. If he just looks slightly ahead, the Hall Pass racing driver is murdering everyone in his way, which will hopefully give him a penalty and move me up a position. As you can see, I'm genuinely looking left and right for a position here, but these two are battling way too hard and has moved me down from the pack in front. I do, however, move up a position. Let's hope I can overtake the driver in front now. You can already see just on this small exit that he's gapping me already. For the ones of you that actually do karting, you'll notice that this is weight. I'm pretty sure that this driver in front of me weighs about 50 kgs less than me, which explains a lot of it. But in this final sector, you'll see a spinner, which was most likely James, who was driving with red in his eyes. I'm about to give you a prime example of the weight difference. I'm about to catch up through every single corner through this section, and just watch as he gaps me throughout the whole entire front straight. Yep, that pretty much explains why I'm second off the pace. At this point in the race, I realise that I'm going to have to defend into the back hairpin because I'm so unbelievably slow. But I completely forgot that I have awful acceleration and every single driver is pretty much going to go up my inside. And Lawrence sees that I'm unbelievably slow down the back straight, so he's going to go straight down my inside. But now, I'm going to try and re-overtake him. I'm basically trying every single switchback in the textbook, but he's just covering it off well enough so I can't go down his inside. I'm trying another switchback through Century Sim corner and another switchback on the corner after, but I seem to have washed my kart out, so I've lost all my momentum and revs. Now I'm going to try and re-pass him with outright pace. Let's see how that goes. And a few seconds later, he's checked out already. This here is lovely for my morale. Skipping through 4 unbelievably boring laps, I have been caught up to, once again, by the driver in black. Let's see how long it takes him to pass me. I've taken the ultra defensive route into sector 3. Let's see if he can break my defense. And like an idiot, I hit the inside barrier due to my lack of practice and lack of track knowledge, which is absolutely amazing. Now, I'm going to have to try and re-attack a lightweight. Now let's see how long it takes him to gap me under acceleration. He's already pulled a disgusting gap under acceleration after the up ramp and through this small left-hander. But now it's time for the big boy straight. Let's see how bad this one is. What the? That is the worst gap anyone has ever pulled on me on a straight before. That is just disgusting. And honestly, I am so glad this has finally come to an end. My BIKC journey ends here, but this also brings an end to my heavyweight vs junior series. I want to take this short time here at the end to thank you all for the support on this journey throughout the BIKC. I know this ended a long time ago, but I still want to thank you all for it, as the support was unreal. But I want to thank you for watching this video. My name is Caleb, OK Karting.